use star code BramP. Hey everyone, so a while ago I did a video on all things that we used to do in Welcome to Bloxburg, and in that video I had a little thing where I showed you how we used to build hillside houses or houses on a hill, and that was done by just doing the walls. Now of course I didn't explain well how we do it in 2021, or at least how I do it in 2021, and I got a few questions for it, and I promised at least one person that I would make a video on this. So here we are. Today in this video I'll show you how to make a custom mountain where you can build your house on in 2021 with the new building tools. Now you need advanced placing for it, and if you are building it on the first floor, then you will need the basement pass as well. So what I do to create a mountain now is I build my grid out just like I would normally do it, and I did in the early days. So there we go. Then I move on to the second floor. I place my normal flooring on top of there, paint that in grass. So the color you need is camo, and then of course the material. You will have to look for the grass material. Why is it broken like that? Gosh, I am so stupid. There we go. I was painting the underside. Okay, anyways, and this is my tip video. I don't even know how to play Bloxburg myself, but I used to place these classic ramps along the side and paint them in the grass color as well, but I don't do that anymore because I feel like it's a little outdated and there are better ways to do it. So what I do is I go into the roofing section and then I pick the mansard roof. I go to the basement level and I just follow along where I built my square. Now of course you do not want to make them connect at the end, so what I usually do is just go a little bit into the last wall that has to be connected, and then I just build my little shape out. Now you want to take your place for this because mountains aren't small, so you definitely want to just like take your time, play around, make it look a little bit natural at least. And then what you want to do, if everything looks all right, is you drag up your mountain all the way to where your flooring is on the second floor. Now this looks like a very steep mountain, so I'm gonna go to change grid and do placement grid small. I'm gonna drag that down all the way, and that's the first part of my mountain done. So I want to paint the top part in grass, and I want to paint the sides in stone. So I'm gonna use slate for that if I can find it. And you want to paint the walls in slate as well, and in the same color that you used. Otherwise you're gonna have these little gaps coming through, and that's not so pretty. Unless there's another way. Let me show you in a second. Oh, I meant grass because, well, it's grass on top. There is another way to fix this issue. If you remove the floor, you can totally have a basement, by the way, in this. So it's really easy to do. You can totally make stairs that go down into the hill. So depending on how big you want your hill to be, just always make a square inside it so that you still have room to build. But if you go to the second floor, you can also choose to have your floor just go all the way over the mountain, painting that in that grass material. And as you can see, you can cover it like that as well. It's really up to you to how you want to play it. Then of course we're gonna copy that shape because we still have some work to do. Now this is quite tricky. You go inside the house and you connect your dots again. So same thing, I'm gonna make them look a little bit like that. And then you go all the way inside the other mountain. Just for the looks of it, you drag that all the way up again, and same thing, you drag that down. So I think this looks all right. And as you can see, you have now completed your mountain. Now it still looks quite weird. So then what I usually do is I work with platforms. So going inside the mountain again, I'm gonna remove this part because I don't like it. As you can see, I didn't go deep enough inside the mountain, so you really need to be careful with that as well. I wanna go all the way inside the mountain, and then same thing, you drag that outwards, drag it up. I still didn't go deep enough, so it can be really tricky to do. But as you can see, you have now created your second platform. What I usually do for stairs is either if I have room left over, I put stairs against the wall here, but as you can see, I do not have room left over, so it's kind of useless to do. I go into carpets. I take these bathroom mats, for example, and I just layer them out like that to create a little pathway that goes all the way up to the house. You just play around with the shapes a little bit. It doesn't have to be all straight lines, you know, I just kind of prefer that kind of look. And you just play around with all of these shapes, as you can see, leading up to the house. So there we go, that would be the entrance. And of course you want to paint that in something that you can recognize. So let's say slate again. And then of course with these ugly gaps that you sometimes have, I just fill that up with plants. So compact bushes, for example, just filling them up like that. Now a thing that I also do sometimes, and maybe that's useful for you as well, is build my house on the level that I want it first, maybe more into the middle of my plot, and then build a mountain around it afterwards. So I build my house first and then I level it out like that, like I did, but just the other way around, because it's easier to see how big your mountain has to be for the house to be on top top of it. And for some people that could be more useful than to build your mountain first and then build your house on that. And then if you built your house, all that's left to do, of course, is fill in the gaps, because there are still some gaps right here where your basement will be, and you just paint them in that grass material and color as well. Same thing here with the walls. Zooming into your mountain, you can actually paint the wall if you wish to. Gonna do the same thing over here, so painting the outside part and zooming into the mountain. This is quite annoying to do sometimes, but there we go. And then you have all this room inside to build your house out. Now, of course, with these mountains, something very cool that you can do, or useful that you can do, is also if you want to make it a different environment, so let's say you want to live in the desert, you can totally go ahead and make these into sand. And as you can see, you can totally transform the house into a desert house. Well, not with the grass over here, but you know what I mean. Gonna go back. And so this is how I built my mountains in 2021. I think it's quite easy to do, but you do need a lot of game passes, unfortunately. So that's kind of sad. But yeah, I built them like that. I used to build them like squares, and now I learned from my mistakes. Let's put it that way. Now, anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope this helps explain it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, and please subscribe.